So I've been having a lot of conversations and reading a lot of information about carbon dioxide and how we just have this whole game wrong here, people. This whole global warming, climate change thing, we have no idea what we're talking about, and it's fascinating. So let's have a video discussion. Okay, so carbon dioxide, probably nothing you think about on a daily, but it's interesting because it's often talked about or the topic of conversation in this country, and many times we just want to click to something else. You know what I mean? Like the topic of climate change or global warming has long since been on the discussion table, and I feel like since we were kids, we heard of the rumblings, and maybe you were invested, maybe you weren't, and maybe now you are or you aren't. But I just wanted to make a video talking about the stuff that isn't talked about, how carbon dioxide is an essential gas for us to live here on Earth. We need it. And yet we always hear that it's such a bad chemical compound, like it's the thing that's eradicating life on Earth, which doesn't make it seem like it's the chemical compound that's giving life to Earth. I mean, is this gas good or bad is what we're asking here. But I think having some of these conversations I've been having and really thinking a little bit deeper than do I just buy into the story of global warming and climate change, and how come it keeps getting a fresh new look or an advertising agency flip on what the actual issue is. How come we're not dealing with that? It's just getting like a PR treatment. I was always confused by that, and I was wondering what are we doing as humanity making things better, and how come we're only focusing on CO2 when it's not the only pollutant in our atmosphere? And so then I started looking beyond that, and especially becoming vegetarian and then going full vegan and then into fruitarianism, I started to learn more and more about what big agro does, and learning that methane is a far more lethal gas to our atmosphere than CO2 ever would be, and how the livestock industry has actually lobbied against Politico to not speak on it. Remember back to the 90s when Oprah Winfrey had doctors or scientists or somebody on that were talking about E. coli and mad cow disease, and the moment she just said, whoa, E. coli's making me not want to touch beef again or have a hamburger, that bitch was in court for months. They dragged her ass through the mud just for making a comment that she doesn't want to eat it. This lobby group is huge, and you can laugh them off, but Big Agro speaks on more policies that control your life than you would ever know, and that's not laughable, so that sucks. But when you peel back the layers of the onion just like that, and you start to see who are the power players, who are the people making money off of global warming, and you trace that back, you start to see some really alarming things. And then you start to find out that we're actually depleting in amounts of CO2, which could cause huge detriment to the people of this planet. And when you find out information like that we're actually going to have to dig deep into ocean water in order to release pockets of CO2. That's something we might have to do in the very near future. And yet we're being told and now taxed on our carbon dioxide production, which is such a scary idea because now the elite have figured out a way to make money off of us breathing. I mean, for real, how are they even? I'm so curious at how this is going to be implemented. These are all just really devilishly, maniacally thought out chess plays. I mean, that's all these things really are. When you get down to it and you find out that corporations like Greenpeace, PETA, all of them, they never go after big agro. They'll never label methane as a greenhouse gas that's killing our planet. It's always carbon dioxide. And you have to wonder how many of these people with all of this money, getting all of your money because your bleeding hearts are buying into this theory. And then you look into scientists showing that the ice caps up north are actually expanding, and that a mini ice age is right on our horizon, and that actually the weather here on Earth is just going through normal ebbs and flows of what the Earth goes through. That information was kept from us, so we're nescient to it. And with us not knowing that, and us not knowing that the sun is going through its cycles, as it always does, and right now it's in a phase where it's giving out less heat. And so all of this stuff playing together, and then you think, why would they lie about global warming and climate change? I say them both consistently together because I want people to know it's the same myth. But I also do like the idea of it making the everyday person more aware to like be conscious of what they're eating and how they're treating the planet and others. Like, it is that this is, again, I've talked in videos before, whenever there is a subject at hand that people are speaking on, it usually came from a place of good and a place of wanting to take care of the earth and the planet and making sure we're all safe, but yet it was manipulated by the elite because they have an agenda and they need to make it work for them. So if most of the planet's like, oh, our bleeding heart, we want to heal the earth, then they're going to find a way to make that evil and work for them. So you just have to be aware that that is the fucking world you live in. You're growing up in a reality where everything you know is a lie. And it's like, it's so weird saying that to people because I don't want to be the person being like, believe me. I want you to figure it out for yourself. But it's true, and it's something that I don't want to sound like I'm iffy on because I'm sure of this information. I'm heading into such a field of like only honest information and only truth, and it's scaring the fuck out of me because you're like, what the hell is going on? Like, what world am I living in? When did I fall asleep? Like, that's why I'm wearing the sleeping ensemble today. I can't deal. I cannot deal with these topics. They're driving me loco. I feel like I need to be pinched, that I've went from dreaming to nightmare. Like, it's weird, but I know I'm not the only one because I'm finding more and more people as I research this kind of stuff more and more, it all links. Like, you fucking go on YouTube. It's like those rabbit holes you probably fall in when you go on YouTube, and you, like, search for Lana Del Rey music video, but you end up watching, like, homeless man smoking out of a crack pipe wearing no clothing, and you're like, how did I end up from point A to point B? It's like, that's where all of this stuff, like, it plays out like a fucking puzzle. It's so weird. You're like playing with one piece, searching around, and then you're like, ooh, this looks interesting, and then you like get distracted and you keep going, and it's like, where does this end? It's crazy. But for real, this CO2 thing, it's fucking bizarre, and you start connecting the dots, and you're like, wait a minute, why didn't I think that humans breathe out CO2, plants take it in? Like, that's how plants survive, motherfuckers. Like, we cannot sit here and not challenge the ideas that even scientists or the government or the elite want to put in front of us and say, eat. We need to question every time. And those people who are like, don't question your government, don't question authority, those people are asleep, and be scared for them, because those are the people that are going to be just ushered into camps. You know, seen it in the past. Humans aren't good people. You know, we can be corrupted, okay? And we do some evil shit when that happens. But I think for real, this message in this video is just to get a discussion going about fucking gas. CO2, who would have thunk? Like, I can't. It's not, I'm literally texting with my boyfriend being like, I can't with this fucking video. Why am I making video? I thought I was going to get on YouTube and just put out like really creative, interesting, fun videos, and I keep finding these topics and I'm like, I can't not speak on that. Like, I tweet about this stuff and I'm like, I feel nuts, but I know there's people out there having these combos, so I'm contributing, I guess. I don't know. Have your opinions, think what you must. This information I'm finding out, when you hear something and you know it's accurate and you know it's right and it just resonates with you in like your true spot, that's what I'm going with here, and it's just fucking weird. Do your own research. I'm not telling you what to believe. It's very interesting when you start looking this up. Once you find out that big agro is covering up that methane is actually doing far more detrimental things to our atmosphere, and that the most detriment is being caused by fucking water.
Fucking water.
Water vapor is causing 95% of the greenhouse gases on Earth. Are you effing kidding me? Water vapor, something we need in order to live. You guys, this stuff is just a psyop. It's a manipulation to put you in fear. Please do your own research. I mean, the water vapor one, I'm still letting the acid droplets drip into my brain over that one. I can't fucking fathom that I have been told that CO2 is leading to the detriment of man when it's water vapor, and yet we have nothing to worry about, and yet humans would have been just fine if we would have put any concentration or thought or any sort of emphasis on figuring out a way to deal rather than to kill, maim, and war with each other around the world. We probably would be fine. We wouldn't be in fear. We need to start using our right brains, people. Let's stop letting the elite keep us in the left brain mind, using that reptilian fight or flight. You know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, Google this shit. I mean, what are you watching me for? If you're not far enough in, don't watch me. Okay? I love you all, and thank you for watching this video. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? I have my robe on. I have my nightshade. I'm going to close these blinds. I'm going to take a nap. And when I wake up, I want the earth to be at peace. Can we make it happen? I love you all. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.